James Carter gripped the steering wheel of his aging pickup truck, his calloused hands stiff. From a long day at the construction site, his mind raced with worries. Bill's overdue rent, creeping up, and his 6-year-old daughter, Emily, who had been asking for a new pair of shoes. For weeks, money was tight, too tight, but he never let her see his stress. The rain poured relentlessly, turning the road slick. He squinted through the windshield as he drove home, exhaustion settling into his bones. That's when he saw it. A silver sports car skidding out of control on the empty highway ahead. In a flash, it slammed into a tree. Without thinking, James pulled over, jumped out, and sprinted toward the wreck. The car's front was crumpled, steam hissing from the hood. A woman was slumped over the wheel, unconscious. Her face was partially obscured by her long, auburn hair, but he could see a trickle of blood on her forehead. "Hey, can you hear me?" James shouted, yanking the door open. No response. His heart pounded. The scent of gasoline filled the air, and instinct told him there wasn't much time. Carefully, he unbuckled her seatbelt and scooped into his arms. She was light, fragile even, and her designer dress was smeared with rain and dirt. He carried her to his truck just as the car behind them sparked and erupted into flames. At the hospital, James waited anxiously, though he had no reason to stay. He didn't even know her name, but something inside him wouldn't let him walk away. An hour later, a doctor approached him. "She's stable, just a mild concussion and some bruises. She's asking for the man who saved her." James hesitated but followed the doctor to the room. The woman sat up in bed, her green eyes studying him with an intensity that made him shift. Uncomfortably, "You saved my life," she said, her voice soft yet firm. James shrugged. Anyone would have done the same. She smiled slightly. Not everyone would have risked their life for a stranger. A nurse walked in with the woman's belongings, placing her ruined handbag beside the bed. That's when James saw the name on her hospital bracelet, Olivia Harrington. His stomach dropped. Olivia Harrington. The Olivia Harrington. The billionaire entrepreneur, owner of multiple luxury brands, the kind of person whose life existed in magazines and business headlines. James masked a surprise, but Olivia noticed. "You recognize my name." He exhaled. "Yeah, you're kind of famous." She chuckled. "I guess. But tonight, I was just a woman in trouble, and you didn't hesitate to help me. You have no idea how rare that is." James nodded, unsure what to say. "Do you have a family?" she asked. "Just me and my daughter," he admitted. "Emily. She's 6. Olivia tilted her head. "Raising a kid alone, that must be tough." James smiled despite himself. "Yeah, but she's my whole world." A thoughtful look crossed Olivia's face. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out a business card. "Come see me when you can. I'd like to do something for you." James frowned. "I didn't help you for a reward." "I know," she said. "That's exactly why I want to." Weeks passed. James debated calling, but pride held him back. He had always been a man who fought his own battles. Then one day, he got home to find Emily's shoes falling apart, her little toes poking through the seams. His heart clenched. That night, he dialed a number. The next morning, he was in Olivia's office, surrounded by luxury and wealth beyond anything he'd ever seen. But Olivia wasn't just offering money. She was offering opportunity. "I know hard workers when I see them," she said. "I have a company expanding into real estate development. I want you to lead a project. It's steady work, better pay." James was stunned. "Why would you do this for me?" She smiled. "Because sometimes the universe pays kindness forward. You saved my life. Let me help you build yours." Tears burned in James' eyes, but he blinked them away. For the first time in years, he felt hope. A year later, James had a stable job, a home where Emily had her own room, and a future that didn't seem so impossible. He never expected his act of kindness to change his life. But sometimes, saving a stranger can be the beginning of something extraordinary.